Hey guys, it's the 4.7 planning document video. This one is going to be on the reflective option. So in case you didn't get the assignment yet for the summative assessment, you are choosing your option. You get to either do a reflective option where you write a book review about your book, and it's this one, option one. And it'll be in the same way that people write book reviews for Goodreads. So maybe you've been to goodreads.com, maybe not. But if you want to check that out, you sure can. It's a site that allows people to basically share what they think about books, rate them, say why they rate them, what they've rated them, and share kind of what they're reading right now, what they want to read next, and what they've already read. The second option for you is to do a creative option, and that's where you would write a short sequel or alternate ending to your book. And there's a different video for option two. Okay, so the video I'm going to talk about, or in this video, I'm going to be talking about option one, writing the Goodreads book review. So if you choose the Goodreads book review option, you're going to make a copy of that planning document. So it's the 4.7 option one planning document, reflective Goodreads book review. Okay, so let's take a look at what that is. When you open it up, it's going to look something like this. And what you're going to see right away is this description of what I've given you already. The key with the Goodreads book review is that you're rating the book on a scale of 1 to 5. So 1, it was the worst book you ever read. 5, it's the best book that you ever read. But then you have to support why you rated it, what you rated it. Okay? So here are the criteria of the summative assessment. So the planning document, 4.7 planning document, is the last mastery check. And we're doing it just to make sure that you're on the right track for the summative assessment. Okay? When you actually submit your summative assessment, this is what we're going to be looking for on it. The end product needs to have a clear and interesting review of your book of about 400 words. Should show a strong understanding of the book it's based on. We want you to have at least one quotation from your book, and we want you to polish it up, make sure it is error-free. And we're going to give you guys the option of submitting your book review and or your creative piece, whatever, your summative assessment for Unit 4. For teacher feedback. And we like to do this when we grade for use of language, because that way you can have a chance to fix any little errors that you might have in your paper. So just make sure that you submit your summative assessment for the first deadline so that you get teacher feedback and you can make changes before the final deadline and get the highest grade possible. The other things you want to be aware of, this is a checklist of what your summative assessment needs to have. 400 words or more, reads like a professional review, thoughtful, reflective, engaging, shows a deep understanding and analysis, includes multiple examples of your points, is error-free, and has that one quote. Okay, so there in this document, this is kind of like a mini electronic packet, if you will. And so all of 4.7 is in here, and then you're going to submit the whole thing as your mastery check. All right. So to start, the must-do for step 1 is to just do some brainstorming about your book and how well you liked it. So give it a rating, 1 to 10, or excuse me, 1 to 5. Say why it deserves this rating. And then take a look at the specifics that we've given you. We want you to make a point about things like character, plot, themes, setting, all of these things that make a piece of literature a piece of literature. Right? So why not use some of these helpful things as you work on this? You could say, it deserves a high rating, whatever you give it, because it has genuine characters or lovable characters, or whatever you might want to say. But we've given you some examples here. You could say genuine, funny, heroic, interesting, lovable, crazy. How about a point about the plot? The plot is what happens in the book, the events. Here are some ways you could describe the plot: full of twists and turns, exciting, adventurous, mysterious, intriguing, unexpected. And then make a point about the themes. This is the larger meaning of the book. And you could say, you know, the themes were relevant to my life. They were important. They were interesting. They were profound. Those are some possibilities. You don't have to use these, but you sure can if you want to. Okay? Then you're going to make a point about the setting. The setting is where and when. We've given you some options here you can use if you want to. Then make a point about the perspective of the book. What did you like about the narrator? Here are some ideas for that as well. Okay, then step 2 is a should do, and for the should do, we have put some Goodreads reviews into Google Docs, and you can find them and read them and answer questions about them. You can, you know, just click it to view it, or you can open it in a separate tab. It's up to you. But you'll notice that there's a quick sort of description of the book and then stars. This is what Goodreads does. You don't have to do this in yours. We're just showing you what Goodreads looks like. But this is the part that you would do. You would do this review. And so here's just a sample review on Of Mice and Men, since we've all read that book. The second Goodreads sample is on something else that we've all read. It is on A Raisin in the Sun. And once again, we give you the description of the book on the top, which you don't need to include, and then the stars, but then this is what you would actually write for your summative assessment, something like that. So you can read that as a should do in 4.7 to help you see exactly what we want you to be doing here for the summative assessment. All right, so go away, screen. There, it did go away. Okay, step 3 is a must do. So we have a should do in between 2 must do's, so don't let that confuse you. You do still need to do a step 3. And for this one, you're going to write the first sentence of your review. Use the sentence frame. The brackets are where you change it to whatever your information is, right? So whatever's inside the brackets, you change it to your info, your answers, and this other stuff you include. And we've got an example here. So here's my example. Tyrell by Coe Booth deserves a 5 out of 5 stars because the characters were gritty and authentic, and the themes included are usually skipped in books we read in school. All right, so you're going to write your own in this box here. And then you have to think which 2 topics you want to include. We've given you a total of 5 to choose from. And then we want you to get specific. What examples from the book are you going to include? Kitty, my cat is upset. And so we have an example here. This person chose to use characters, and they're talking about 2 characters here. And how about a quote for the book? Oh, I'm sorry. This one is character and theme is what they did there. And then a quote. And what would you say about this quote? All right. So that is a must do. That's planning for your actual summative assessment. The aspire to do is to show what you just came up with to a classmate. All right. Then we've also included on the bottom here the assessment criteria for how the summative assessment is going to be graded. But after you're done with the must-dos and whatever else you want to do in the 4.7, submit it for teacher feedback. It's your mastery check for 4.7, and then you're going to get started with the actual summative assessment in that assignment in Schoology. Let us know what we can do to help you on this. Thanks. Good luck.